Aloha and welcome to my radio desk here in Molokai, Hawaii. I'm continuing on with the XHDATA D-328 shortwave radio series, and I did remember finally that I still had the Retekess V115. So this is really a good comparison. Both of these radios cost right around the same amount of money. So I'm going to go ahead and do a head-to-head with them right now. And I got a station all set up. We're going to check them out with their regular antennas, and then the telescopic antennas included. And then I'm going to hook up the K180-WLA antenna, clip it onto the telescopic, and see how that works. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. I'm going to start out with the XHDATA. Now this is 11,825 kilohertz. I wanted to pick a station that was coming in pretty good, but not that great. And now we'll go over and we will do the Retekess V115 on the same channel. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to hook up the clip on the antenna onto it, and we'll see how that improves things. Turn it on. Definitely coming in a little better. Alright, so I'm going to shut that down. I'm going to take the XHDATA D-328. There, and we'll go ahead and we'll turn that on. And I'm going to go ahead and take the antenna off again. Definitely doing a little more fading. Okay, while I've got them here together, I'm going to do a little bit more of a comparison. One thing on this, on the telescopic antenna, you can tell that the XHDATA is a little bit longer. You should be able to see that on there. It is definitely a little bit longer. XHDATA probably by a couple inches. And I had mentioned in the Retekess that the antenna being in the back, if they'd have made that up a little bit higher, sitting in that tilted position, it doesn't come up very high. It's not even quite straight up. And I didn't notice it right away, but here on the XHDATA, it's even more so. This definitely flips back a little bit, and it's hitting the radio right there, so it can't come up to that position when it is in this tilted position. That's as high as it'll go, and you can see the angle is quite a bit different here, where this one is more straight up and this one is going out. So that might make a little bit of difference. I mean, these are portable, so you're going to be moving them around. Probably not that big of a deal. I never had that problem on my C crane. I'm able to that's able to come forward and come straight up, and has a little better movement. So that was just one thing I noticed. So I'm going to put these back down, and then we'll go over the size difference between the two. Now this one, again, this is the Retekess V115, and this one has that tilt back is not part of the body. It is on the carry handle strap, and then you got your space for your battery. You know, this one, the build quality isn't too bad. The plastic seems a little softer, like it would be able to take bumps a little bit better and maybe not crack. You definitely don't want to drop them, but this just feels like the plastic might be a little bit better. Now the buttons, on the other hand, I really don't know how long they'll hold up. I haven't read any reports that they don't, but because you don't have a tuning wheel, the only way you can really make any adjustments in the frequency is with these buttons. So that's going to make a big difference. You're going to be hitting them a lot, and we all know what happens with calculators, or back when they had buttons like that and you didn't just use your cell phone. But buttons can definitely wear. There's no question about that. And size-wise, you can tell that the Retekess V115 is a little bit taller, and seeing here it is just slightly shorter width-wise. If you look from the top, I'm going to put this down. We'll actually look from the bottom. The XHDATA D-328 is a little bit wider. So this one has a little bit, the Retekess is a little bit smaller. It is a little bit smaller, probably fit in your pocket a little bit easier, where this one's a little bit thicker. This kind of reminds me of the size of the Walkmans, the way they used to be. You know, it's pretty close to it anyways. This one, it's got a really shiny plastic, but it does seem like it might be a little more brittle if you drop it or something, and it might end up cracking. But again, we really don't know that until it would happen. But that's the feel I get from it anyways. Of course, this one does not have a digital display, which to me is a big downside, and I know that would be a big downside for a lot of people. But the Retekess not having any other type of adjustment, to me, that is a really big downside. Not having a tuning wheel is a big downside. Something that I'm definitely used to, and maybe it's not going to bother a lot of people, so to be your preference there. But I definitely would rather have a tuning wheel on it. And same thing with the volume wheel. It doesn't even have a volume wheel. The volume is up and down buttons. Where here on the XHDATA, there is a volume wheel there too. And again, you have to move the shortwave bands on the bottom on here. So that's an extra step that you have to take. The Retekess, I will admit, when you start to use it, and the more you get used to the buttons and the functions that they have, because this actually forward button here in the middle, if you hold that down, it'll do a scan, and it'll also go through the bands. If you hit it singly, it'll go through it to start the lowest frequency of the band, and then if you hold it down, then it'll end out doing a search that way. So it's just gonna be preference, and once you get used to it, it probably isn't gonna be too bad. For me right now, honestly, I kind of like the XHDATA D-328. The only thing, which to me isn't really a big deal as long as you get the station in, is the analog display. But it has the tuning wheel, so you can really get a feel for it and feel where it is. And sometimes when you have the digital display, it's easier to lock on. You just key the frequency in and it goes to it. There's definitely an advantage to that. But I honestly really don't see a big loss here on the XHDATA D328 with that. The tuning wheel to me adds more than it takes away, and it doesn't bother me as much about the display. We're going to do one more actual reception test on this one now, and I'm going to go to Radio New Zealand Pacific, and I will get that on here. I'm going to reset these back up, and I'll be back on in a minute. Alright, so we are back. I got it all set up now. Radio New Zealand actually just switched frequencies, so I had to reset them up. And they are on 9700 kilohertz, 9700 kilohertz. And we are going to go ahead and start out with the XHDATA 328 first. And this is just with the telescopic antenna. Alright, so I am going to, let me turn that off, and I will bring the Retekess into the picture here, and we will turn that on. And again, this is just with the telescopic antenna. For me, it's easier to turn off the radio instead of hitting the volume bar button and knocking down the volume. It just takes a little bit. With this one, I can leave it on, and I can turn the volume up and down. So we'll go ahead. There we go. Turn down the volume, and I'll turn this one. This is the Retekess back on now.
drop the resultant in which summarize a critical milestone in shaping a more inclusive and for the broadcasting sector. Participants engage in discussions events on nationwide consultations and baseline studies with a draft policy now set for public release at the end of July.
Now to turn the volume down here, I have to hold that and press it and hold it down. Now I'll bring the volume back up on the XHDATA D-328. Okay, so that's both of them with the telescopic antenna. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip on the antenna here. I'm going to take these down a little bit and I'll clip them up there. All right, and then I will start with the XHDATA D-328. Go ahead and I'll grab that. Turn on the antenna. I'm going to go ahead and cut the power to the antenna. And it doesn't make much difference. And I'll take the so the antenna's not making that much difference. Okay, so now let's go over to the Retekess. I will go ahead and put that on. Now we'll give it some volume. Got a little bit of music playing now. Not much difference. Definitely get a little more volume with it, gives it a little more amplification with the antenna on it. So let me set that down. Now I'm going to look for one more station. I think I could probably try to get a China Radio International in here for one more last comparison, and then we'll end up closing this out. All right, so I am back with my last test. So the head-to-head between the Retekess V115 and the XHDATA D-328. I've got China Radio International set up on 11.710 kilohertz, so that's 11710 kilohertz. And this is how the XHDATA D-328 brings it in with just the telescopic antenna. Alright, so now I'm going to go to the Retekess V115 with just the telescopic antenna. right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip on the antenna here. Actually, I didn't have the antenna all the way up, so let me crank that volume back up. I had about 2 inches of antenna still on the Retekess that it was still down, so I brought it back up, and it helped a little bit. Now I'm going to kick it down the volume, and I'm going to clip on the antenna. All right. And here we go. So that's not coming in too bad. So now I'm going to knock that down, and I will go ahead and do the same here for the XHDATA. I will put that on there, and I'll turn it up. Okay, so I'm going to cut that down. I'm going to turn off the Retekess, put these down, get them out of the way a bit, and I'm going to plug in the antenna onto my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium, and we'll go ahead and we'll listen to this. And that's the actually the sync is starting to come in. I'll take the sync off.
K-pop groups and whatever. So there is something already common ground in cultural.
Maybe C-pop one day.
Now the sync really took in.
Professor Liu, before we wrap up, going forward, you, from your understanding of
so that's how it comes in on the Grundig. All right, so let me know what you think on this. I think they're pretty close. I myself kind of think that the XHDATA D-328 did a little better than the Retekess V115, but it was really close. It seemed like the Retekess at times didn't bring in the signal as well with the telescopic antenna that it has. They both perform pretty much the same with the antenna, and the sound quality out of both of them is marginal at best anyways, but it seemed to me that I kind of preferred the XHDATA there also. Really the only couple things that I think are that I liked about the Retekess is the digital display, and that is going to be a huge deal to a lot of people. And if that is a big deal for you, and you don't mind not having the tuning knob, then this is going to be the radio for you. It's a little bit more compact too. You take that down, it kind of fits more in like a shirt pocket, that type of thing. This one will too. Weight-wise, I would say that maybe the Retekess is a little bit heavier, but this one is slightly bigger, the XHDATA. Neither of them have an external antenna jack, so that's why I was clipping the external antenna onto the telescopic. The main thing about this one, the XHDATA, is the analog display. But to me, I think that's offset by having the tuning wheel, and I definitely do prefer the volume wheel also to the Retekess. So there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me which one you think won out on this head-to-head. I'd be really curious to find out. I'm going to finish out this video series with one more, and it's going to be a final thoughts video on the XHDATA D-328. So leave me some messages in the comments and let me know which one you think won out on this head-to-head. From my radio desk here on Molokai, Hawaii, aloha everyone.